Hi there and welcome to another show here brought to you by One Football Lab. This is Bustthenet and these are the Ajax Diaries. I want to thank everybody for your comments. I truly appreciate them. It's nice to know that I'm helping some people out in one way or another. I never thought of myself as an entertaining person. Certainly my wife doesn't think I'm funny. She always has something to say about my jokes. And I will avoid trying to be entertaining because that is definitely not my strong suit. Meanwhile, back here with Ajax, we had a fantastic season. This is the first episode of our second season. In our first season, what else can I say about our first season? Let me just put it this way. I had so much fun. I was so happy that I was jumping up and down in the house when we beat Barcelona. I did my back in. I had to go and see a specialist to get painkillers. I'm actually doing this show with painkillers. Okay, so I'm like, ow, ooh, ah. My wife started laughing at me. She said that was the funniest thing she'd seen. But hell, man, and now the doctor tells me I can't even carry my 2-year-old son because he may be 11 kilos. The doctor says, nope, you're not lifting anybody, anywhere, anytime soon. So that's it. Okay. Meanwhile, with Ajax, now this Ajax team is a very interesting team because I had a conversation with another Ajax fan, a diehard Ajax fan, who was like, yeah, it's great that you've done something, with Ajax. But in real life, I don't think they could have done it. But here, this is the interesting thing. Last season against, the season before when they played United in the Europa Cup final. Now, honestly, I thought Ajax was very, very naive in the final. They were outdone by a tactically astute manager in the form of Jose Mourinho. Now, what does Ajax really need? I've always said this. When I took over Ajax the first time, the first thing I did was go out there and look for defensive midfielders. That's all this Ajax team needs. The second thing they need is something called money, right? Now, the wage budget is very important. If you're going to keep players in Ajax, you got to keep them happy because Ajax wages are like something like 50,000, 40,000 per week. And then you got Kasper Dolberg, who can probably be picked up by clubs like Manchester United, Chelsea, Man City, and they will be willing to pay him like £100,000 a week. So what was the first thing that I did when I got into this club? The first thing, Hakim Ziyech, Kasper Dolberg, I renegotiated the contracts, including Donny van de Beek. Now, Van de Beek, I won't consider him like a must-have for a lot of clubs, but as far as Ajax is concerned, they need him. He's young, he's got full of promise and potential. But Hakim Ziyech and Kasper Dolberg, I went in there and I renegotiated the contracts. So I pushed Kasper Dolberg to £88,000 a week. Now, when the season ended, I wanted to renegotiate his contract. That means I negotiated his contract twice within the same season. 88,000 per week was the first time I renegotiated his contract, and I placed 115 million transfer fee on him. Basically, release clause, right? So, then towards the end of the season, we have, I went to the board and said, look, here, guys, you gotta give me more money, man, for a wage budget. We're gonna keep this place. Board turned around and said, go to hell. So what did I do? I actually used the leftover transfer funds. Now we've got 15 million this season for transfer funds. I immediately jacked it up to about, it was 800,000, right? Renegotiated Kasper Dolberg's contract one more time. And now it's sitting at 105,000 quid a week. Hakim Ziyech is about £70,000 a week. And I went to the board and told them I want a better wage budget. So now we've got 1 million as a wage budget. Look at the buffer. I've got 621 to 1 million. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go out there and sign players. The goal here is to make sure that we keep our players. And I want to keep players like Hakim Ziyech and Kasper Dolberg around for as long as possible, giving them contracts which are going to be close to they got pretty decent contracts right now. Kasper Dolberg, if I can, right now Kasper Dolberg is at 24.5. Okay, he's earning £88,000 a week, but we've offered him a new contract. He's accepted it. He hasn't signed it yet, but that contract will see him bump up to 105,000. The next person is going to be this chap here, Hakim Ziyech. Hakim Ziyech, I'm going to bump his contract up to about 80,000 per week as well. And then Matthijs de Ligt as well, 80,000. So all my key players, the 3 of them here, they're going to be bumped up. And I'm not going to be shy about doing it. Because the thing about this Ajax team is you absolutely need to keep this youngster, Matthijs de Ligt. He is by far one of the best defenders I've seen in the game. He has a lot of intelligence. He's got incredible vision, making him a very, very dangerous ball-playing defender from the back. Even when you play him as a defensive centre-back, he has the ability of splitting defenses with a pass from the back. fantastic addition to any team, and I don't want him to go. So we're training as a ball-playing defender, and we jacked his salary up. The other person I'm thinking of in the long run, though it's not really a necessity, is yet Justin Kluivert. Justin Kluivert, also another player with bags of potential. So we've gone in there, we've renegotiated some contracts, and as you can see, Casper Dolberg's contract will be, he's going to get a new one. It's going to be £105,000 per week, expiring also in June 2023. What about the rest of the club? The rest of the club, I got Donny van der Beek, yeah, Joel Veltman, yeah. But for me, the most important the three most important players for this club are Casper Dolberg, Hakim Ziyech, Matthijs de Ligt. And all of them have got I think all of them have release clauses, minimum release clause of 150 million pounds. And if any team wants to come in and get them, they'll have to pay me that amount, which is good for Ajax because money is going to be great for this club. So, and what about the rest of the players? Well, I haven't really brought in any of the players. We're using the same squad from last season. We haven't released anybody. We haven't sold anyone. So we've got a lot of players out on loan at the moment. We're going to keep adding to this list. Boy Kemper played for us last season, played a few matches. This kid is good. Okay. I'm like, okay, for a youngster, you got a lot of potential. He played quite a number of games for us last season, about 10 games. Mitchell Baker ended up playing quite a few games for us last season. So they're both out on loan at the moment. And meanwhile, within the same club, I think we've started to bring other players into the first team and giving the goal is to give them lots of play time. One of them is this player, Kai Sierhuis. Now, he is as an under-19 player, he's been phenomenal for Ajax. He's got buckets of goals for the under-19 team. So he's got plenty of potential, and I think any Ajax fan will be familiar with his name. When he burst onto the scene, everybody was really excited. And he's already made 5 appearances for the club this season, and he stopped scoring. He's already scored a hat-trick for us. So I've kind of like started bringing in players who I want to see play, including some really strange choices I've made. Here we have Jesper de Heidi or whatever. I can't pronounce his name. I think it's Heidi. Okay. He's a youngster. I've given him a few matches to play because I want to groom him as well. So he's already played 3 matches. Zian Fleming has already played 4 matches for us. So we've got quite a few players who have been given runs in the main team, and we want to give them a few more. Unfortunately for us, we've had a few injuries. Maximilian Werber is out. He's been out for a while. David Neres is going to be back in about 2 weeks. Waclav Cherney is out for the next 3 weeks, and Justin Kluivert is out for another 3 weeks. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. We had a great preseason, and then they got injured in preseason. Kai Sierhuis scored a goal against Feyenoord in the Super Cup, and then he scored a brace against VVV. Then in the Super Cup, he scored again as we beat AC Milan, and then season proper, he scored a hat-trick against AZ Alkmaar. With Casper Dolberg and I see Twente, I think. He didn't play very well, so we had to bench him. Essentially, we're playing a slightly different version of my 4-1-4-3-3. But now we also have news. The Champions Group has been drawn, and our first match in the Champions Group will be against Arsenal. We are playing a German side called Gelsenkirchen. I think I'm not sure how you pronounce this, but we're playing this German side. We got FC Copenhagen. I clicked on this team because I don't know who this team is, and then I saw some familiar names like Nabil Bentaleb, Pablo Insinua. Where else? We got 1 or 2 Leon Grotzka. These are all familiar names to me, and I was like, okay, this we can't take this team for granted. Elsewhere, there's no other Dutch team in the Champions League. We got Real Madrid, Dortmund making up Group A. Then we've got Atletico, Juventus, Spurs. This is like a group of death in Group B. Thank God we have managed to avoid that group. Then we've got PSG, Zenit, and AC Milan, another tough group. Bayern, Napoli, Shakhtar Donetsk, pretty interesting group. Bayern and Napoli should go through. Shakhtar might pull a few surprises. Then we got Arsenal, Ajax. Then we got City and Inter and Villarreal and Sporting. Barcelona, Monaco, Moscow, CSK Moscow and Fenerbahce. So this is going to be interesting for us as well, because our first match is going to be at home to Arsenal, and Arsenal right now currently in the Premier League, they've gotten off to a great start, winning all their matches, including an away win over Liverpool of all teams. Man, Liverpool continue to disappoint me. Never mind. Okay, so essentially that's basically, we've got a few injuries. We've gotten off to a pretty decent start, and tactically we plan to use this tactic along with our 4-1-3-2 and our 4-3-3 narrow. This is a slight change to my 4-1-2-2-1. Why? Because I feel that in the league itself, we can afford to be a bit more attacking with a 3-man midfield. And I like this a bit more than the 4-1-2-2-1, because here I got, these guys are generally going to be a bit more of a nuisance on the flanks. We've got an AP, we're playing with an inside forward who's been told to shoot less, close down much more often, move into channels, close down much more. For the poacher, close down more for the front guy. Inverted wingback does nothing. CD does nothing. The wingback, shoot less often, dribble less. Ball winning midfielder with shoot less often, dribble less, few risky passes. Mazala not doing anything special. And of course, distributing centre backs and take short kicks. Now, people have asked me this question: why is your goalkeeper playing short when you're playing counter-attacking football? I don't really care. I mean, counter-attacks can be system generated, right? So it doesn't matter if your goalkeeper is playing short, because when I have possession of the ball, I want to keep possession of the ball. But counter-attacking happens when the other team is attacking me, and chances are my goalkeeper is not the one that's going to be breaking up play, because if he is the one breaking up play, we're in a world of hurt, because that means I'm allowing them to have shots on goal. I rather this group of players, the 3 midfield break up play. So when they break up play, then the counter attack is on. I don't care about my goalkeeper. I want him to keep the distribute shot. This is different from Kingstonian. With Kingstonian, I don't have my goalkeeper distributing shot, because in Kingstonian, my backline can't play the ball. The only thing they can do with the ball is to kick the ball and hope for the best, and that's what I do with Kingstonian. But with Ajax, is a different story. With Ajax, it's all about keeping the ball. So here we go. Our match today is going to be against Fortuna. Let's take a look at the scouting report. Fortuna are going to be coming into this game playing defensive structured. This means their fullbacks are probably going to be tucked in quite a fair bit. They got a left flank I'm going to be careful of. Deep line for a poacher. Pretty solid looking for 4-2, I have to say. So we got chances are the thing is, we can't afford to see these 2 guys come up the pitch, so that's going to be the whole goal. So with some big games coming up, I'm still rotating my squad, so we're going to make sure that most of my players are ready for the matches to come in the league. We've got a few players injured, so I'm going to have to look at Dalit. Where's Dalit? Dalit is going to be playing wherever will play as the inverted wingback against Fortuna Sittard, who are probably going to be very conservative. I'm going to try and get my players to roam from positions and get that other wing back to get up the pitch. Yeah, they look like they're going to be playing defensively. Both fullbacks don't look like they're coming up to attack. So here we go, kick off. Shearhouse to Christique to Dalit out to Ziyech to CM De Jong. Now, I'm very concerned about my players picking up injuries, because I don't want to lose them before the Champions League match. So Shearhouse is playing a few games because I think he needs a few more under his belt to help with his development. So the Fortuna is a good side to give him a run out with. Pasa to Dolberg to Ziyech, takes another shot. All right, boys. Let's drop. Let's do work ball into box. Braun to Jacob into the box. Onana picks that up. Back to Dalit. Dalit to Shearhouse. Good play from Shearhouse to Pasa. Pasa the ball winning midfielder gets it to Ziyech. To CM De Jong, to Pasa. A few of my players have been given a rest. Oh, Shearhouse! What a goal from Kai Shearhouse! He continues his scoring streak. Oh, brilliant start from the youngster. Ziyech played it short to CM De Jong, finds Pasa. Pasa played a really simple pass. Straight to the feet of Shearhouse, who turns and takes a shot from... very nice goal. Okay, so good. We're taking a chance resting Donny van de Beek for this match. And sometimes it's good to give other players a chance to play, fire and drive and everything else. Semedo into the box. Orihuela can't. And they get their equalizer from some sloppy defending from Ajax at the back. Cleared, and then they all left Semedo unmarked. And then Orihuela couldn't clear the ball. Yep, poor defending. Christique to Pasa. Ziyech out wide to Dolberg to Sierhaus. Sierhaus shoots. Santos makes the save. Header into the box for another corner. Dolberg to CM de Jong, back to De Ligt. De Ligt shoots, forcing the keeper into a save. Here we go. Veltman to Orihuela. Orihuela to Pasa. Pasa plays it back to Ziyech. Ziyech. Whoever plays it to Pasa. Pasa looks around. Ziyech now to CM de Jong. CM de Jong wide he goes. Dolberg. Oh, that was good work from Mazzala. Poulsen back to Damas. Under some pressure from CM de Jong. Plays it down to another cross. Veltman clears the danger. Ziyech has a chance to... No, he's on the wrong side to start a counter. But he still gets a great ball out to CM de Jong. Plays it to Sierhaus. Sierhaus inside the box. Shoots. Yeah, I didn't really have many options. He took the best option then, which was to take a shot at goal. Poulsen with the throw. Read very well by Orihuela to CM de Jong. Plays it out to Ziyech. Ziyech now drives into the box and then takes a shot. That would have been some goal. No, it wouldn't have been. It's nowhere near. Braun. I wish that the long shots that missed, they would be at least they wouldn't look so bad. Pasa Ziyech takes a shot. Yeah, it's a goal kick. All right, we want to get more players involved. Let's go, boys. Get Orihuela more involved into the attacks. Okay, we're gonna tell Wahiva to be a wingback on attack now. Big risk. Team talk. Jacob to Boss to Damas to Schurz to Braun out to Semedo. Semedo makes a run. Damas with the ball. Plays it back to whoever that is. It's gone out to touch. Goal kick. Veltman to Orihuela to Spasa to Ziyech. You can see Verheer wide on the left. CM de Jong plays it back out to Orihuela. Now to Pasa to Ziyech. Plenty of players now trying to get inside the box. Dolberg crosses it. And Sierhaus with a second goal. What a beautiful goal. A fantastic cross from Dolberg. Sierhaus did brilliantly. Ziyech. Let's look at this again. Dolberg goes wide. I wanted him to do that. Takes a cross. Sierhaus. Oh, what a header. Alright, that means that I don't need to get you to be a wingback on attack anymore. So you go back to being an inverted wingback on defense. Let's lock down that flank. Make it a bit harder for them to get anything from there. Damas out to Semedo. Verheer. Pierre. Okay, misread. Orihuela. Pasa. Back to Ziyech. To CM de Jong. Back to Ziyech. Plays a brilliant ball out to Sierhaus. Sierhaus, what can he do? Crosses it this time. Dolberg hits the post. Okay. Yeah, I was still on fluid. It's a goal from a free kick. I think Ziyech took that. I didn't see it. Let's look at the replay. I was thinking of switching my tactic around and getting them to go on structure, but apparently that was not needed. ZX free kick hits the crossbar and goes in. It's now 3-1. All right, we're gonna make some changes. We're gonna give players a rest. We're gonna bring on Amin Younes for Dolberg. Another player who probably needs a rest is this guy. We're going to Lasha Scherner for him. I'll move Scherner here. No, okay. Move Scherner. Leave Scherner there. Okay. All right. 2 goals from Kai Shearhouse. A goal from Hakim Ziyech. The damage has already been done. We just have to see out this game now. Okay. And that's it. Shearhouse continues his goal scoring streak. The boys have done well. It's a good win. Took us a while to break down Fortuna, but Shearhouse continues his goal scoring streak in the league. He's now top scoring the league with 7 goals. The best marksman in the land is from Ajax, and he was, of all the players, it was not Kasper Dolberg. You know, the reason why it's not Kasper Dolberg is because I want to keep Kasper Dolberg in the club. I don't want him to become like the top scorer for the club and then get pinched by a bigger club like Real Madrid and Barcelona. So we want to keep him around. So I've shoved him onto and asked him to become an inside forward, so that we develop Kai Shearhouse, and then if we do if he does get some attention, then I'm more willing to sell him than to sell the one and only Kasper Dolberg. As you can see, he's already wanted by some clubs, by Chavez. You know, how much are they gonna pay? Shearhouse now 7 goals in 4 appearances in the league. The guy is on fire, and we've done okay in terms of the development of the players. Still keeping the same thing as last season. So whatever they were working on last season, advanced playmakers, Shem De Jong passing. So he's still working on his passing. The rest of the attributes will fall into play. I don't really need him to do anything more. Hakim, and then what about Karel Eiting? Eiting's development is, I've been focusing him on as a ball-winning midfielder, but with the added focus on quickness, and that's where he's been working on. So what about the load? Now most of them are medium at the start of the season. I don't want them to go to heavy too soon because it's still early. They might get injured, so I'm waiting for them to get their match sharpness at least up a bit. I mean, I'm actually reacting to the fact that I've got 4 injuries so far. Right before the season even kicked off, Verbo is injured, Neres is injured, Waclav Cherney is injured, and Justin Kluivert is injured. That's 4 of my starting players, and it's like, you know, I'm going like, oh God, what am I gonna do? So we've had to play with Pasa, and I'm very protective over players like Donny van der Beek, and now we're going to have a nice little match against Vitesse Arnhem before we play Arsenal in the Champions League. Well, we're off to a good start. Tactically, nothing very different. As you can see, I mean, like, I talk about playing with super systems all the time. And the thing here is that for me, with Ajax, it's down to how I want to train my own team as well. So I'm using why did I go fluid? I went fluid to get more players involved in transitions. It's as simple as that. That's the only logic. You know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. And then why did I go for a flat three? Flat three, I'm probably going to do a lot better holding and putting pressure on the flanks, which, as you can see, we did okay. I mean, we did concede 1 goal, but generally I think for the better part of the match, we completely dominated possession. Now, having said that, I'm not playing with my best 11 at the moment. 2 players are not here. Werber isn't here. Veltman should be playing as the wing back. I like Veltman as a wing back because on this flank, sometimes I like to have a player that's got solid positioning and is got the intelligence of stopping play from building up, and he's done pretty much all of that the whole of last season. So far we've done okay. And what about the B team? Now, the B team's training follows the main teams, right? But from the B team, we've got quite a number of players on loan, and a lot of these players will get rotated into the main team. So they're going to get a lot of chances to play. And I'm looking, so far, Jesper de Hyde has already played a few games, but I'm more than likely to put them on in matches, like home games against teams I expect to beat. So they'll start out there. The under-19s team is doing well in the Dutch under-19s Group 1. They're third on the table. I'm not not too fast. Do I add players to this? So far, I haven't gone out and done any transfer signings. It's still the same old players. I'm accepting whoever comes out of the academy, and we develop accordingly. So far, I've not gone out there. I've not bought any players. There's no necessity to. This club is pretty solid. The only transfers we did were last season when we brought in Pasa and Christique. Other than that, I have been looking for players who are like 17 years old, 16 years old, but I'm not willing to pay anything more than 3 million for them. So we're gonna just keep using the boys from Ajax, and then if we need to sell, we'll sell them from Ajax as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this edition of the Ajax Diaries. We're off to a decent start in the league. We have won 4 on the trot. We keep our unbeaten streak going. We have yet to drop any points, and I'm pleased to say that we are on track and to achieving what we want to do. I'm excited about the development of these youngsters. Some of these guys are just blowing my mind. Well, I hope if you have any questions, find me on Twitter at Bustthenet or addicted2fm.com, my website. Once again, I'd like to thank all my patrons so they continue to support this channel. You make these kind of shows possible for the rest of the community. You guys take care, have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.